Hello and welcome to the 11 February 2020 chapter dev setup video. This is my version of the way I think the instructions read. And so I'd like to switch over and look at the setup instructions. First of all, the vision says that the chapter can live on a Linux server anywhere. And then if we switch over to starting the development server, we see that there's some requirements. So for example, Node.js and Docker are required. So we can take a look at that. So notice that we're on a Linux server and it's Fedora version 31 on an x86 64-bit architecture. So we're going to look at some of the requirements. This is my cheat sheet over here. That way I don't have to type all this stuff if I don't need to. So we have NVM. Check each one of these. We have Node version 13. Make note of that. I think there's a different version required in the package JSON. npm is installed. Docker is installed. So, and we should probably also make sure that that there aren't any other containers already installed. And we see that it's empty. So I took the liberty of making sure all of that was installed to make the video a little bit shorter. The next step is to clone chapter, and we see that that comes from this instruction right here, starting the development server. It says git clone and then the link. So we'll give that a try. See if I could do any better job copy and pasting this. So it looks like it didn't take too long. Let's take a look and see if it's there. So there's a directory called chapter. So the next instruction says to change into chapter and do npm install. So we'll do that. And while that's loading, which could take a while, I suppose, we could probably look at can't talk and type at the same time apparently. Look at the git log. Of course, it's not a repository because I'm not in chapter. So if I cd into chapter, I should be able to. So for one thing, you can see right here that it's on the master branch. And if I paste that or just scroll up to that line, we should get the very last 5 commits. We go over here to our network graph. We'll see that this commit is 1F2A9E4. And here we see it's 1F2A9E4. So it looks like we got the right chapter at the last commit on the master branch. So now we're going to, we did install, and notice that there were some messages, and there were some vulnerabilities. I think those are covered in the issues. So now we should probably do npm update. Make sure that we have the very latest according to the package JSON. And it looks like it is doing some updating and giving us some warning messages. And the next steps are going to be to do Docker compose up when this finishes. We also want to take a look at the Docker engine. So this is in Docker docs and supported platforms. And you can see that the platform that they support is an x86-64 Fedora platform. So Docker, this should run on a Docker container under the Linux setup that I've installed. And there's nothing quite like just sitting and watching the screen roll along. But I can also make a comment that I go to package JSON and take a look at it. Scroll down to the bottom. See that it's calling for node 10x, and I saw that node 13 was installed. I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not. So it looks like the updates are done. Makes a list of what was changed here. So the next step is Docker compose up. Missed the dash. Just put a little dash in there. It should fix that. Well, see that it's creating Docker images. It created 3 Docker images. Now it's giving us some hints. It's telling us where things are running. It says localhost, but this is being run on a server somewhere. So I'm going to just take a little bit of an educated guess. That where my server is. Take a look at that. Gives me a hint that my server is here. Like that. We should be able to copy and paste that into browser, and we'll use the port number that it's recommending 8001 for the API spec server. Let's give that a try. Port 8001. It's slow. but it does look like something is happening. And so there you have the design of the API. Come back and look at the install. You see that there's something going on, and I don't understand exactly what this is. We should have something at port 8000 also. I believe that's where we look at our instructions, installation instructions, which I surfed away from the instructions. I need to get back to those. Here's the development setup. Yeah, it doesn't tell us where to find that. I think it tells us in the and maybe that's part of the problem that I was having. We'll see here in a second. I think this fails. Yeah, it says unable to connect. And so it could be that I just don't know the right port number to look at. But that pretty much concludes my installation instructions. And I'll say thank you for taking a look at this, and look forward to doing another one of these in the future.